The FCC approves $3.2 billion for broadband. Windows Enterprise Long-Term Care channel gets reduced. Microsoft releases subscription-free version of Office, and back to basics with what is an operating system. All that and more next on the Computer Doctor Show.
You're listening to the Computer Doctor Show, your source for technology subjects affecting your business and personal life during this new normal. Your host is an award-winning office technician and IT specialist, author, tutor, ethical hacker, and recent winner on localbest.com as the best computer shop in Tucson. Broadcasting live, here's Aaron Moss.
Hello, Tucson. Welcome to the Computer Doctor Show, episode 34. I'm Aaron Moss, your host. Good to have you with us every Saturday at 2 p.m. right here on KVY 1030 The Voice. We post all of our shows and bonus content on computerdoctorshow.com. Again, computerdoctorshow.com. Our open lines, 520-790-2040. Feel free to call in anytime with your comments and questions. We have a great show for you today. Are you having trouble paying your internet bill is the question. 2020 has made it very difficult not to have broadband internet service at home. A program was just approved just yesterday that might be able to take $50 off of your monthly bill for qualified homes. But how can you benefit from this program? Our phone guest today will have answers for you in that upcoming report. But first, our top tech news stories this week. Windows 10 Enterprise version long-term service channel gets reduced to 5 years from 10 years. An official blog post on February 18th mentioned that there are some mission-critical systems that cannot or should not receive regular updates. This is the enterprise version of Windows 10. Therefore, Microsoft found that very few customers needed the full 10 years of service and could get away with just 5. Microsoft will still honor the already existing contracts, but will no longer offer 10 years as an option. Only 5 that also goes for the IoT version 21H2 set to release in a few months. Lots of pushback for people getting forced into Office 365, which is a cloud-based model off of the very familiar Microsoft Word, Excel, Publisher, Outlook programs that many of us are used to. Cloud-based means subscription-based. People that have been using Microsoft Office products for so long don't want to switch to the cloud. So much so that Microsoft has answered their prayers and will release Office 2021 for full purchase with no monthly subscription, just the way it was. Many have resorted to finding the older versions, the 2010 Office, 2016 Office versions, and others to maintain their plain old letter writing and word processing needs. The older versions are usually found on third-party websites, but be careful not to click on a virus link. One of the exploding sensational social media apps called Clubhouse started in April 2020 and has some high-profile users such as Drake, Bill Gates, Kevin Hart, MC Hammer, Mark Zuckerberg, Oprah Winfrey, Elon Musk, Damon John, to name a few. For now, the app is free with no ads. It's only available on iPhone, and you must be personally invited by someone that already uses the app. This invite-only feature hopes to remove any users that abuse the platform and track where that user came from. I attended a live conference on the app on Friday night with Bill Gates and 8,000 others, where he revealed that everyone should get with the masses and use Bing. Obviously, that's something that Bill Gates would say, using Bing instead of Google. And he gave a high five to all the Dummies series books after reading Weather for Dummies and Controlling Emissions Not Being Realistic in the Next 10 Years. To get on the new Clubhouse app, download it from your iPhone and wait to be invited. In this segment, we're going to talk about how COVID-19 has made it difficult to be without internet at home. The FCC announced yesterday $3.2 billion is being made available to people to pay for broadband internet at home. Joining us on the phone is an E-rate specialist, Frank Vanderhorst in Yavapai County, that has some details on that program. Frank, are you there?
Good afternoon, Aaron.
Hey, thanks for coming on to the show on a Saturday. We really appreciate it. Yesterday I got an email from you about this program. So what can you tell us about this program, and how can people and homeowners here in Arizona benefit from it?
So the FCC has allocated $3.2 billion to help pay low-income households for their internet service. The purpose is to help households get access to jobs, health care, and classrooms, for example, as well as other things.
Mm-hmm.
So they will provide up to a $50 per month benefit towards your internet, $75 if you're on tribal lands.
Mm-hmm.
And they will also pay up to $100 for a laptop, desktop, or tablet, as long as you contribute between $10 and $50 towards that purchase as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it will not cover a smartphone, but will cover desktop, laptop, or tablet.
Okay, this is not a bad thing. So again, this is for low-income households. So that would be, say, people that are already on some sort of public assistance.
Right. So you would qualify, for example, if you're on Medicaid. You would also qualify if you are taking the Lifeline program, which is something else the FCC does, offering free phones to low-income households. If you have students in the household that are eligible for free or reduced lunch at school or free breakfast at school, then you're eligible.
Mm-hmm.
If you have received a Pell Grant, which is for low-income college students,
mm-hmm.
or if you've experienced a serious loss of income due to a job furlough, for example.
Mm-hmm.
And lastly, you're eligible if you are already partaking in your internet service provider's low-income program, if they have one.
Right.
So you've got those six things that will make you eligible.
Now, just for those people that are listening, so if you are if you're not sure if you fit any of these categories, I should say, especially with your internet service provider currently, if you are already in a low income plan with your internet service company already, you should already be aware of that, because that's something that you usually have to apply for. You usually have to have a special conversation with somebody on the phone or a special chat. It's something that you actually have to opt into yourself. It's not something that is offered to you. You actually have to speak up and say something about it and ask for it. So those that already have it, that you would actually be eligible for this program. Now, Frank, I know this was just announced by the FCC just yesterday. So is there any information of how someone would go about applying?
Well, there are some general information. First of all, the FCC has targeted this to have this program up and running within 60 days. So it's not something you can sign up for today. They are going to be building a portal so that people can apply online, and they expect to have that done, like I said, within 60 days.
Okay, and once this portal is put together, it's just something that can just be announced, and people can just go on there, and it'll actually tell them if they're eligible or not, right?
Yeah, yes, you would put in your criteria. There'll be various forms to fill out within there. So if your listeners will go to fcc.gov/broadband benefit, that's where the FCC is doing daily updates on the program. fcc.gov/broadband benefit.
Okay, again, fcc.gov/broadband benefit, and there they can see the latest updates. Now, with this program, does it benefit schools at all? Because I know you work a lot with the schools in Arizona.
This does not specifically address the school situation. That is coming in the next $1.9 trillion bill that just passed the House yesterday. So there's $7.8 billion in there for schools if it passes the Senate and is signed by the president.
Okay, excellent.
So that's totally separate pocket of money.
Okay, we're going to go ahead and make sure that we announce this again at the end of the program. Again, this is a $3.2 billion benefit announced by the FCC yesterday, and we're speaking with Frank Vanderhorst. He's with the Yavapai County. What's the name of your organization again? I know you do E-rates, but you're with the county, correct?
Yes, I'm with the Yavapai County Education Service Agency, which is the division of the county school superintendent.
Okay, very good. Thank you so much for joining us today, Frank. We'll make sure that we mention this on the program before we close.
All right. Have a great day, Aaron.
All right. We're going to take an early break here. Next on the Computer Doctor Show, Back to Basics about operating systems. Our open lines, if you have any questions about that part, 520-790-2040 for your questions on that part. You're listening to the Computer Doctor Show on KVY 1030 Tucson. We'll be right back after this quick break.
Perfect Look Photography is a photography business that serves individuals, families, wedding parties, children's parties, quinceañeras, and family reunions. We also do headshots for actors and model portfolios. We photograph all types of events in Tucson and communities in Pima and Santa Cruz counties. In addition, we provide more types of photos than any photographer in Tucson, including green screen, art photography, montages, and DVD slideshows. We provide great photos at great prices. For more information or to get a quote, please call 499-4209.
Solar is popping up all over town. Why? Because solar just makes sense. Say goodbye to expensive summer electricity bills. Call or text Julie Festerling at Icon Power, 520-307-1013. Avoid the new 7.9% price increase with the utility company. Call Julie at 520-307-1013. Icon Power will help you take control of your electric bill. Ugly Goose Car Rental is new in Tucson, providing a low-cost auto rental alternative for just $100 per week. The only catch? The cars are ugly, but very safe and reliable to get you to work, school, shopping, and all your important appointments. To reserve your $100 a week car rental, call Ugly Goose Car Rental at 520-261-0439. Again, 520-261-0439.
Computer Doctor of Tucson is the best choice in desktop support in Tucson. They fix error messages, power and boot problems, install of software and hardware, and much more. You can come to them, or they can come to you, or even have a remote support session so they can fix your issues over the phone quickly. Give them a call at 261-5508, 261-5508. Visit them on the web at computerdoctortucson.com. Computer Doctor of Tucson, because technology is great when it works.
Welcome back to the Computer Doctor Show. Quick shout out to Bruce Ash on the Inside Track. He gave our show a nice compliment just before leaving the building earlier today. And if you like the show, give us a shout out on your blog, on your things that you do on the internet. Tell people to listen to the Computer Doctor Show on Saturdays at 2 p.m. If you have a business email with a business domain and you use GoDaddy, your email hosting prices may go up. The traditional email host is going away and will be being replaced with Office 365 platform. It is more secure and more expensive. The GoDaddy traditional email was a mere $1.99 per user per month. The Office 365 starts at $7.99 per user per month. Although it is advertised per month, it's payable, you guessed it, only annually, just shy of $100 per year. Expect those emails, and if you need some options for your email, contact the Computer Doctor of Tucson. In this next segment, I want to talk to you about Back to Basics. What is an operating system? The reason why we're doing this Back to Basics series is we have a lot of older listeners and some of those that never got a true computer education, and some of the computer basics that lots of people are already aware of, okay, have already been kind of skimmed over by certain generations. So I'd like to just do this part and just explain exactly what an operating system is. So we can say that an operating system, I would like to just start with an example of what an operating system is. You've probably heard of these. Windows 10. Windows 10 is an operating system. Linux, okay, Android, iOS. Those are all operating systems. Now, each operating system has several versions, can have several versions. So there's Windows XP, Windows 7, some of the older ones. Windows 10 is the latest of the Windows series. Then you have iOS. I think the latest iOS right now is big something. I saw it the other day. I forgot what it was. I'll remember what it was in just a second. But I know some of the older ones were Snow Leopard and High Sierra and all that. So those are the different versions of that operating system. Then there's also Linux, which is an open source. It's not really operating. It doesn't really have a company that backs it. And then there's Android, which is the operating systems for all of your smart devices. So here's what you need to know as far as what an operating system is for. An operating system is basically a sandwiched piece of software that allows you, a human being, to interact with the hardware, the chips, the plugs, the connections, everything that is on the board, the physical piece of electronics. Everything that you are allowed to interact with that is, and to give commands and to actually operate and use the device, that can be considered an operating system. So I'll take Windows 10 for example, because I specialize in Windows 10. So in Windows 10, when you turn the computer on that has a Windows 10, it just doesn't turn on directly into Windows 10. There's a bootstrap process that goes, or booting process that goes. So it starts with some very, very basic things. It's called a basic input-output system called BIOS, B-I-O-S. And that BIOS system then starts granting permissions, and gradually, and by the way, this is done very, very quickly, gradually it gives all the permission and all the control to the operating system, even giving it control and permissions back on itself, because the operating system of Windows 10 can make changes of things in the BIOS. The date and time is a perfect example. If you were to change your system time on Windows 10, it would actually update the BIOS date and time. So it actually works, kind of forwards and backwards. So again, the operating system gives you is the software that is sandwiched in between you, the user, and all of the hardware and electronics of the hardware. Now that also includes some of the peripherals that computer operating system may have connected to it, such as printers, mouses, keyboards, monitors. If you have speakers, also the different types of memory. You can have long-term memory, you can have short-term memory, the RAM, the different blocks that are inside that live on the board. The operating system handles and caches all of those systems, and it basically just controls all of them. Now, different operating systems may vary, and they could be designed for different purposes. And to give you a very basic idea of that, you can have a driver's license, you might be able to drive a car, but just because you can drive a car doesn't mean that you can fly an airplane. Okay, both are vehicles, both will transport you, both have front seats with a set of controls, but they operate extremely differently. Okay, so there are some operating systems that you might be used to. So someone that is very used to Windows 10, if they decide to move to something like an Apple product or an iOS product, and it's not something that they can just move to easily. They're going to have some trouble because the buttons are in different places. The way it operates is in different places. Okay, the way they add printers and the way they control files, open and close and download and install programs, it's all different. And it's the same thing with the Android platform and with the Linux program, with the operating systems of there. So these operating systems, they operate very, very differently. Now, when you start to understand how these different operating systems operate and you start to get used to one, you start to become almost dependent on that type of what we're going to call user graphic interface, okay? Because the user interface is exactly what you're able to see. Like, for example, right now I'm using an iPad in front of me that I write all of my show notes on, and I'm actually reading from it right now. I'm also doing a lot of ad-libbing, but I know that when I put my finger on the screen and I go up and down, I know that it's going to scroll. I know what happens or what to expect to happen when I hit the round button on the bottom. I already know because I know this system very well and I've been using it for a long time. But if you decide to switch operating systems, okay, the same buttons are going to do different things. The operating system will be able to do the very things that you want, but it's going to do it in a different way, and you may need what's called a little bit of a learning curve. We tell people expect a learning curve or a period of time for you to get up to speed if you decide to switch operating systems. Sometimes this may happen if a company, I'm going to say Windows 8 was a prime example of this. Now, some of you may be thinking about, well, what is Windows 8? And my answer is exactly, what is Windows 8? Windows 8 was a terrible operating system. That's just my opinion, because they changed it too much. They made too many changes, almost too many changes that in Windows 10 they had to revert back to the way it was more because they got so many complaints of people not knowing how to work and operate Windows 8. So as operating systems continue to update and as they continue to migrate into other systems, okay, and it's only going to get worse because soon our refrigerators get, I'm pretty sure that there are smart refrigerators out there, smart toasters, smart chairs, we have the smart cars. All of these systems that have a user graphic interface with like a touch screen on it and thing, they all have operating systems, okay, made by their manufacturer. And as time progresses and as these things continue to update, buttons are going to change. I can't tell you how many times I've received phone calls from people that say that, hey, there used to be a button here that I used to be able to push, and then the computer would do this other thing. And I'm telling them, well, you must have gotten caught up in the middle of an update. Same thing happens with websites, happens with operating systems, it happens with drivers, it happens with all kinds of things. So this is why we need to have more and more computing conversations so that we can keep up on what is happening in the latest realm. So again, the operating system is a piece of software that is sandwiched between your hardware. And when I say hardware, I'm talking about pieces of the computer that you can actually touch with your finger. For example, you cannot actually touch software, but you can touch RAM. You can touch a chip physically. So that would be hardware, things that you can actually, is tangible, that is touchable. So the software is running on those chips, and they allow a user to interact with the hardware through user interfaces and with coordinated cataloged data, if that makes sense. I hope that clears some things up for some of my listeners. I did want to re-thank Frank Vanderhoost for coming on to the show today. The FCC website again, fcc.gov/broadband benefit. Again, fcc.gov/broadband benefit. And there you can see the latest updates for anyone that is needing help with their internet bills, up to $50 per month for low-income housing. And if you are on a reservation, it could go up to $75. And I just wanted to thank all of our sponsors. They are local, and they will take good care of you. And you know what? We didn't run out of time too much for this show, but we are looking for more sponsors because we are trying to take this show to a 1-hour program on Saturdays. So we need your help. We need some sponsors to get in here. give us a call or visit us on our website, computerdoctorshow.com. My name is Aaron Moss, your host and technology expert. Tom Fairbanks is at the control board. Listen to the Computer Doctor Show every Saturday at 2 p.m. right here on KVY 1030 The Voice. Stay safe, enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we'll talk to you again next week.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Computer Doctor Show. If you missed any part of this live broadcast, we post all our episodes online at computerdoctorshow.com. Remember, the world is getting more and more tech, and so should you. To stay current with technology, listen to the Computer Doctor Show each week for local and global tech insights. If you have suggestions for a topic on a future show, send us an email at info@computerdoctorshow.com.